longer, the night's getting longer, the evil is stronger, and there's much to fear. It's the most horrible time of the... Oh, hello there. Welcome to the Busan Midnight Movie. I'm your host, Donald. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. You found me getting some popcorn ready in advance of tonight's feature, the holiday classic Silent Night, Bloody Night. However, before we settle in for that, we have the next chapter in the Great Alaskan Mystery. Last week, our heroes were rescued from the perils of nature and stock footage only to end up at the same indigenous village as the Nazi spies. After retrieving the Paratron death ray from the Nazis, Jim Hudson and his team are double-crossed on the flight home. The pilot is shot, sending the plane careening out of control. So fix yourself some snacks, a beverage, and see what happens next in the Great Alaskan Mystery.
Get this fella out of here. Help Food take care of him. Flight 3 to airport. Flight 3 to airport. Come in, Saskatchewan Airport. Hello, airport. Okay to land? We're coming in. Stand by with crash wagon and a doctor. We've 2 wounded men aboard.
Again. Now, the one of them was seriously injured.
Why?
Hello, Hudson.
Hello, Mac.
What happened?
Ask Miss Miller. I've got some checking up to do.
Sure, go ahead.
Brock talking. Go ahead, Galtman.
We put Kruger on the transport without any trouble. He'll get Miller's invention and bail out as ordered.
Right. I've notified Brandon to pick him up.
I'd like to see Mr. Brock.
He's busy just now. Would you care to wait?
Yes, I'll wait.
Name, please.
Jim Hudson.
Oh, Mr. Hudson, I'm sure Mr. Brock will want to see you. There's a Mr. Jim Hudson here to see you.
Send him in.
You may go in now.
Thank you. What I can't understand is how the masked man got on that plane.
I can't imagine. I'll have the airlines people make a thorough investigation.
It might lead to something, but I'm sure the crew's in the clear.
Well, what do you suppose the masked man was after?
I have reason to believe it was some valuable apparatus Dr. Miller has with him. But what puzzles me is how the masked man learned of it.
Yes, that is a mystery.
Captain Greeter couldn't have planned it. Even if he escaped from the Eskimo village, he couldn't have gotten through to civilization in time.
No. Oh, by the way, I notified the marshal to go down and arrest Greeter, as you asked.
Oh, fine.
Remember Brock's orders, boys. Act like respectable officers of the law. If the Eskimos give us any trouble, we let them have it.
Well, I guess all we can do for the moment is sit tight. I have a hunch the mystery men will be popping up again.
It's too bad, but war always seems to bring an increase in lawlessness. I've been thinking of calling a meeting to discuss local defense.
Not a bad idea.
Greetings to you, Chief. I'm the Marshal. I've come for the prisoners. Where are they?
That man's in-house. I saw. These bad men. Guards go now?
Yeah, I'll get rid of your guards. Hagel, this is swell. When I heard the plan, I thought it was the real marshal. Brock's too smart to let that happen. This is Dr. House?
Yeah.
Greeter, you're to keep undercover. I'll drop you off in Bankhead. And you'd better put these on.
How are you feeling these days? No ill effects from your wounds?
Oh, a few aches and pains now and then when it rains. Like an old man with rheumatism.
Well, give my regards to your father.
Thanks, I'll do that. We're going up the mine the first thing in the morning. Goodbye, sir.
Goodbye and good luck.
I'm glad to see you.
Hello,
Doc.
Phil, how are you?
Well, don't tell me this is Ruth.
This is Ruth.
Oh, Pop, I want you to meet a pal of mine, Mr. Higgins. Just call him Bosun. He's a handy little man to have around, too.
Well, besides, something I agree with you. You like to fight?
No, I don't like to fight. That's why I like to get it over with in a hurry.
Come on inside. Give me the lowdown.
I stopped in town long enough to thank Mr. Brock, then we came on up here. That's about all there is to it.
About all. Well, it's not exactly what I'd call a dull trip. It burns me up, that's what it does.
What does, Mr. Hudson?
Well, thanks, I missed all the fun. Makes my story about hijackers sound kind of sick.
Hijackers? You been having trouble, Bill?
Oh, a little the past few days. Lost a couple of loads of pay dirt.
That's kind of funny. You've never had any trouble like that before, have you, Pop?
No?
I wonder if that could tie in with the people who've been after you, Doc. Is it possible they already know about this ore you came up here to experiment with?
It's possible. Though I, for one, don't intend wasting time in idle speculation. What I want is a look at that energized quartz you have around here, Bill.
Well, come on. I'll show it to you right now.
All right.
That's exactly where old Grit found the quartz. He says there's a whole pocket of the stuff. Jim, put off that light and watch it glow.
Well, whoa. That's amazing.
Oh, here's Grit now. Folks, this is Grit Hartman.
How are you, Grit?
Hello, Grit.
Hi, folks.
Bosun Grit.
Hello. How are you?
Grit's the one who discovered the quartz.
Oh.
He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah, the day I do. Watch out, Doc. Don't touch that stuff. It'll knock you for a loop. That's the way I found it. I was in here digging for pay dirt one day, and all of a sudden my pick struck something and it knocked me clean across this tunnel for 20 feet. I landed right about over there. You hurt? Huh? Oh, as I was saying, I landed just about right here.
Hey, look at this pig.
It melted the end right off.
Well, that is really amazing.
Whoa, Doc! Stop that way!
It'll kick you the same as it did me. If you have a go at it a little bit at a time, it will kick your ears back. Here, I'll show you. Hey! See what I mean? Here, Doc. Use my glove. Thank you.
I can feel the heat. Has a sensation like an electric current.
What's the verdict, Doc?
I don't know. It doesn't come under any of the known classifications.
Well, then it's a discovery.
Absolutely.
Well, what about the Paratron? Do you think it'll make it work?
I have a feeling it may. Well, the only way to find out is to try. I'm certain the quartz contains a mineral form of energy that is akin to radium. It throws off a strong atomic energy that is in no way gaseous. More, you might say, like a power wave. All right. Jim, would you please hold the receiver? And stand over there. Now, the rest of you stand back.
Doc. He carried it. Look!
Yes, it's there. With enough of this energized quartz, perhaps in concentrated form, we may be able to send it for miles. Bill, do you think you could start mining this for me right away?
Why not?
I may need tons of it. Who knows what energy a ton may contain if concentrated into a pound? This may be the basic secret of atomic energy.
If it were not for this lack of energy, the Paratron would work successfully.
Then you feel that with the mineral they've discovered at the Hudson mine, the doctor may have an answer to his problem?
Yes, that's my opinion. For that reason, and because Dr. Miller is the only person who knows the real secret, I insist that he must be kept alive. At least until he completes the experiment.
Maybe you're right. Perhaps we'd better let old Bill Hudson alone for a while, throw them off the scent.
Yes, I think it would be much wiser.
Well, I'll get in touch with Brandon and call him off.
And what is supposed to have happened to me?
You're supposed to be dead. You better lie low for a while.
Point C2 receiving.
Brandon?
No, this is Kurtz.
Let me speak to Brandon.
He's not here. Our man at the Hudson Mines tipped us off there were 2 truckloads of that pay dirt coming down, so Brandon went out to get it.
Who gave him the orders?
You did, boss. And Brandon thought there might be some of that high-voltage rock on them trucks.
That was last week, you idiot. Now you get out and stop Brandon before he reaches the trucks.
Too late, boss. They're due to be coming down now.
Good luck to you, Jim. Get it through.
Don't worry, Pop, we will.
And you see to it that he doesn't take any chances.
You know me, miss. I hate trouble.
That's good, men. I'll get out of sight. Dawson. Well, you're going to stop, aren't you? No. Oh, your rudder?
Yeah, something's wrong.
Getting worse? Yeah, I think the steering gear's busted. I'll never make this curve ahead. We better jump.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm wearing my special holiday sweater in honor of the seasonal celebrations. The garish colors are in no way an outward manifestation of the stress caused by mandated merriment. Because this is the Christmas weekend, I've picked a classic Christmas movie for tonight's feature. Fans of Hallmark holiday films will be familiar with the plot. A young person from the city returns to the rural hometown hoping to sever all ties and arteries, only to discover reasons to stay forever and ever and ever. Initially released as Night of the Dark Full Moon and later, as our print is labeled, Death House, it's the holiday classic Silent Night, Bloody Night.
One last time, I have to see this ground. It's beautiful now, as if nothing had happened here. Soon they will tear down the main house, and then nothing will be left. Nothing. Except what I remember. I grew up in the town nearby, where my father was the mayor, and where this house stood, waiting for me. It was built by Wilfred Butler. We had never seen him, and he never lived at home. Until the day before Christmas in 1950, he finally did come back. For the last time. All of us believed that his death was an accident. No one knew that another person had come to Butler House that Christmas.
As Deputy Coroner of the County of Arlington, State of Massachusetts, I hereby find, upon evidence of an autopsy conducted by the medical examiner of this county, that the deceased, Wilfred Butler, died as a result of burns inflicted accidentally upon himself on his own premises during the afternoon of December 24th, 1950. No further inquiry shall be held over the body of the deceased, and this inquest is officially closed.
All is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child.
After the coroner's inquest, on New Year's Day, they buried Wilfred Butler. There was no one there to mourn him. It was the funeral of a stranger.
I, Wilfred Butler, being of sound mind and body, at least what the world considers sound, do hereby leave my house and its grounds and all personal effects within that house to my only surviving relation, my grandson, Geoffrey Butler. And I solemnly charge him with one duty. Let him leave the house as I left it, standing untouched to remind the world of its inhumanity and cruelty.
For 20 years, that house lay empty, exactly as Wilfred left it. And then, last year, rumors began that it was finally being sold. The newspaper story traveled through the county to a state hospital for the criminally insane. The man who came to sell the house had never seen it. He was a lawyer from the city, just doing a job and enjoying it.
Stop and look serious, please. Oh, you're hopeless. Oh, look.
Hey, wait, where you going now? The mayor's gonna have a fit, kid.
One more shot.
Come on.
Stay there. I want one together. And smile.
For all the news as it happens, stay tuned to WLIX, your voice of the Northeast. This is Roger Fowler with local stories. First, today's headlines. A warehouse fire still rages in Elizabeth. Police suspect arson. That escaped inmate at Margaretville State Hospital still at large, still hunted by state police. And over in Roxbury, the city passes a controversial housing code.
Well, didn't I tell you? It's beautiful.
Can we see the rest of it?
Honey, that was it. I think the mayor's waiting for me.
My love is such an important man.
Right. Laura always says that.
Darling,
What?
don't be long.
Honey, if you get bored, just look at the view. Sooner or later, that viaduct's gonna take us back home.
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Mayor.
Let me introduce you. This is Charlie Toman, who publishes our weekly newspaper, The Patriot.
Mr. Toman?
And this is Tess Howard.
How do you do?
She operates our switchboard.
Oh, really?
We call her the communications director. And this is Bill Mason.
Mason?
Our sheriff. Won't you sit there, Mr. Carter, at the head of the table?
Thank you. I didn't expect to meet you all together. It's quite a reception. All right, let's begin. As you know, I've been retained by Jeffrey Butler. The matter concerns the house that he inherited from his grandfather, Wilfred Butler.
Go on, Mr. Carter.
I believe that you offered to buy the house for my client.
Offered? We begged him. We wrote letters
That's
and we...
enough, Tess.
Well, it's true.
Trouble. There's always trouble.
I can sympathize.
I spent the last 20 years and more driving people away from there. Prowlers, burglars, kids, they're the worst. Chasing for nothing because of that will. That drivel about humanity. No, no, no. Inhumanity. What the hell is that, huh?
Yes, well, he was a bitter man.
Hate?
It must have been very hard.
It must have been hate.
That man hated. Well, some people are like that.
The question is, well, do you still want the house?
Are you offering it to us, Mr. Carter?
Exactly.
Why now?
Well, that's Mr. Butler's business, isn't it?
You know we're not rich. Most of us came here during the Depression. But we love this town. It's our home.
And naturally you want to improve it.
Exactly.
My client understands that, and he fully sympathizes, and he's willing to sacrifice the house for $50,000 in cash by noon tomorrow.
That's an awful lot of cash.
It's also an awfully good bargain.
You could go to Wilton. You could go now to the bank.
Am I clearly understood?
All that cash.
Perfect. I'll wait for your answer till tomorrow.
You're spending the night here?
Yes.
May I ask where?
At the Butler house.
We could put you up at the motel as our guest.
No, the house is fine.
The Paradise Motel.
That's very kind of you, but I'm meeting Mr. Butler about some personal items.
You'll want a phone. I can reconnect the line.
Don't trouble, please.
No trouble. You'll need a phone.
Don't want to be stuck out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've convinced me. Thank you.
By the way, have you known Mr. Butler a long time?
No, I've never met him. He called me and asked me if I'd handle this for him. I said yes. He had the key delivered to my office. Mr. Mayor, Sheriff, Mr. Toman, Miss Howard, see you all tomorrow. In fact, I'm looking forward to it.
Slick, really slick.
He's a big lawyer, Bill. You've got to expect that.
Don't tell me about lawyers.
Oh, you see the way he looked at us? You see his clothes?
He's doing his job.
Just don't tell me about lawyers. You know what I'd like to see? Two of them like that one talking to each other. Neither one of them would know what to believe.
I love you, too. Honey, when I get home, I'm going to have a nice surprise for you. No, I can't tell you what it is now. It wouldn't be a surprise, now would it? No, I can't come home now, but it'll be very soon. Very soon. Honey, of course I miss you. Yes, I miss Mommy, too. Laura, how are you, kid? So I'll call tomorrow. No, I want to call. I want to talk to Jenny. Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, I'm having a fine time. Well, same to you, darling. What do you mean, hostile?
I was wondering, if we get it, what then?
Tear it down.
Okay. Okay. I'd better get going. Do me a favor, Tess. Call Diane, tell her I'm going to Wilton, and I'll be back late.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Butler wasn't kidding. Nobody's lived here for years.
That would be such a waste.
It's his grandfather's monument. You know, there's a caretaker who keeps this place just the way he left it.
What kind of monument is this?
Well, that's the trouble. Nobody remembers anymore.
That's what usually happens in America.
I remember this. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I'm his own. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy he shares as he's married there.
You're not serious.
I used to hear that at funerals.
At funerals?
Yes. When I was a kid in Chipley, Georgia. There's also Chipley, Florida. But they have both been subsequently eradicated from the map. None other has ever known.
Was a delicatessen, so I brought you pastrami, salami, potato salad, macaroni, everything you like.
I'll have bologna and macaroni. No, some of that potato salad. Did you pick the wine, too?
The delicatessen man took a personal interest in its selection.
Oh, well, we got lucky again. That's early 1970. That's hard to come by.
Can I have some, too?
Of course you may.
Thank you. wonderful.
What?
The people who lived here. They must have had a wonderful life.
Well, I hope they did. Wilfred Butler must have believed in something. Look at that stone fireplace, parquet floor, the mahogany, this table. And you probably think this place is made of wood, right?
Well...
Wrong. You know what his grandson told me? Underneath that wood, there's 2 feet of stone. The foundation is 8 bricks wide. Now, someday they're going to come in here and they're going to tear this place down and they're going to build little tract houses all over this property on quarter-acre and half-acre lots. And that bulldozer's going to come up that hill toward this house. And it's going to get the surprise of its life. They built a kingdom out here. Only nobody's left.
No? Butler has a grandson.
No. He's probably like the rest of us. Wants money. You know, he's asking $50,000 cash for this place, and if he only wait, he can get at least $250,000. But he won't take his time. So he'll get screwed.
Do you want to go upstairs now?
Soon. You know, one of the great pleasures in life is the pleasure of anticipating pleasure. Isn't it?
We are very close now, aren't we?
Sure, honey. Very close.
I don't see any beds yet.
Well, keep looking, honey. Butler said the place was furnished. It's furnished.
Anything doing?
No, sir. But look at this.
More football, huh?
Look how they smeared that quarterback. Look at his arm.
Got no time now. Protest. How about that telephone up at the Butler house? Is it working? Well, try it now. I'll wait.
Hello? Oh, yes, Miss Howard. Yeah, the phone's working fine. Very nice of you to call. Thank you. Good night. Honey, I'm going down to the car to get some cigarettes. Be back in a minute.
Okay.
Don't get lonely.
No, no. Did you get your cigarettes?
Yes, I did.
May I have one?
Sure. No, it's the most amazing things. These cigarettes come in these very small packages these days.
Oh, that's for me?
Mm-hmm.
Can I open it?
Oh, no. Our Christmas is day after tomorrow.
Is that an order?
Yes, ma'am. That's an order.
Bill, someone's calling from Butler House.
Okay, put him on.
Go ahead now.
Mr. Carter?
I'm not Carter.
Who is this?
The honor.
Butler.
I'm worried, Sheriff. Carter's not here.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
I can't. I'm sick. Can you come here?
What is it? What's wrong?
His car's here, but he's gone. Won't you come?
Okay. Now you stay put in that house.
I'll wait for you. Please, hurry. I'm afraid.
Now take it easy. I'm coming.
Mr. Butler, are you done? What's that?
Tess, I want to see you again.
Hello? Who is this?
You know me, Tess. It's Mary Ann. Tell the mayor. Tell them all. I'm waiting in my father's house. Tess, it's so lonesome here. Don't be long.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
my God, where is everybody?
Hello?
Oh, Maggie, thank goodness.
What is it, Tess?
Something's come up. Something urgent. Can you start early?
Oh, honey, I'm watching TV.
Maggie Deeley, you get yourself over here.
What is it?
Just get moving, Maggie. Just please hurry. Come in. It's open. Okay, mister, that's far enough. What do you want here?
Mayor,
Try again. My father's not home. And don't move.
you want me to put my hands up?
No. Just stay there. What are you staring at?
I seem to remember you from the road.
That's why I'm holding a gun. You scare me.
Well, that makes sense.
Thanks.
Does everybody carry one here?
You can ask the sheriff when he gets here. I'll call him.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the sheriff's office is empty.
How do you know?
I was just there.
Who are you?
Jeffrey Butler.
Oh, you're the one who's selling the house.
Yes.
Have you any ID?
Come on.
Don't laugh at me. I want your ID. Some maniac escaped from Margaretville.
Okay.
Put it on the table. Now go back. California license. Lucky you.
Would you like to see my maniac card from the asylum? They give you one when you escape. There's a big scarlet M on it so people won't get confused.
Okay. Look, I'm sorry about the gun. My father's in Wilton getting your money.
All I want to do is to get into my house.
The sheriff's deputy might have a key. He's about the only one I know of.
Well, where's he?
You go down the road about 1.5 miles till you come to a white house with a white fence, and then you can't miss it.
Thanks.
That's okay.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
If I don't call back in an hour... What? Call the mayor or Mr. Tone and nobody else. Promise me you'll do that.
Well, sure.
Mark it down, honey, so you'll have it.
I'm festive.
Tonight's movie, as even its Wikipedia page notes, is not to be confused with a similarly named Silent Night, Deadly Night, the controversial 1984 slasher with a deranged killer dressed as Santa Claus, although both did see remakes in the 2010s and both had sequels that were largely flashbacks to footage from the first movie. However, it was Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 that gave us the legendary line reading, "Garbage Day!" Tonight's feature does have its own horror pedigree worth highlighting. The lawyer from earlier in the picture is Patrick O'Neill, who went on to play the president of the Men's Association in The Stepford Wives and the head of the villainous company in The Stuff. Diane is played by former Warhol superstar Mary Warnov, who had an extensive career after this, most notably in Eating Raoul, a role she reprised for a brief cameo in Chopping Mall, Terrorvision, and sundry Roger Corman-affiliated productions. Speaking of producing, this was co-produced by Lloyd Kaufman, who just a few years later would co-found Troma Entertainment and was distributed by gonzo film outlet Cannon Films. You'd think that with all that, the movie would be interesting. Keep an eye out for an upcoming flashback sequence featuring sundry other members of Warhol's circle, including Candy Darling and Ondine. And now, back to Silent Night, Bloody Night.
Sheriff to 301. I'm heading west on Route 5 to Butler House. You'll hear from me. What the hell? What's that light out there?
Hi.
Hi.
Did you find the deputy?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh. I was thinking, isn't your lawyer supposed to be at the house?
The door was locked. His car was there, so I borrowed it.
You mean you stole a car?
Yeah. Keeping it warm.
What if he needs it?
Let him find me. Who's coming to dinner?
Oh, Daddy. We always have dinner every Thursday. Do you want something?
No, I ate Paradise Motel.
Yeah, I know. It's awful. What about a drink?
Yeah.
It's cheap bourbon, but that's a big favorite around here. Do you want ice?
No, straight.
You look tired.
I am tired.
Well, here's to a fast dollar.
Cheers.
Why did you decide to sell the house?
Needed the cash.
After all these years?
I need it now.
Huh. What's it like on the inside? You know, I've never seen the inside. When I was a child, my father told me to stay away from it, or something terrible might happen. Sort of like a haunted house.
I haven't seen it either.
You're going to sell it? You've never seen it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too bad. It's about the only place to see around here. Oh, I forgot. Someone keeps calling with a message for my father. She says that she's waiting at your house, in the reception room.
What woman is waiting in my house in the reception room?
Oh, I don't know. It's not a voice that I know.
I better go out there.
Can I come too?
What for?
I'm pushy. I suppose you'll be going back to California soon. California? You said you lived there, remember?
No, I'll be traveling.
Jeff, look. It's the sheriff's car. There's a light. Look at that tombstone. Pretty cheerful.
Who bears the cross shall wear the crown. Wilfred Butler. My grandfather.
Oh.
Someone left their sunglasses in the snow.
They're the sheriff's.
My lawyer's missing. So is the sheriff. You get strange phone calls. And now someone's fascinated by my grandfather's grave.
Let's get out of here.
You still want to go to my house?
Yes. But I don't want to go alone.
Listen.
I'm not nervous.
Well, of course you're not.
Oh, it's the cold. I'm shaking from it. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
We'll get help in town. It's 10 minutes drive.
Night, Mr. Toman. Have a nice holiday.
Deputy's not here, but Toman is.
Who's Toman?
Come on, you'll see. Mr. Tolman, wait. No, please, I have to talk to you. I'm sorry. This is Jeffrey Butler. He's the one who's selling the house. He can't get inside the place. And my father's gone to Wilton. So we wondered...
Anything wrong?
He'll tell us. Tess has gone to his house.
Why would she go there?
I don't know. Anyway, she won't get in. You say it's locked. He says she hates the place.
Would you like to drive there? Diana could stay here, lock herself in.
I need a key.
Oh, man, this isn't my house. It's Tess's.
Well, Tess isn't here. Are you satisfied? She must have gone to my place. Well, why wouldn't she go there? She hates it. Maybe she went to see the woman who's there. Someone called the mayor's house before. Said she'd be waiting. What is it?
Hello, Jeff? Hello? Is anybody there?
Who is this?
I'm Diane Adams. I spoke to you before.
Bring your father to the house. This is Marianne. Tell him I have the diary. I'm waiting.
Who are you?
He'll know. Christmas Eve, 1935.
Hello? Hello?
Signal 10, 704, C Charlie. 704, Signal 10, 704, C Charlie.
Sheriff, I saw your car. Bill? Is that you?
Tess, you can't see me, but I can see you. Oh, yes, I remember that face. You're older now, and fat, but still, Tess. And you're frightened, aren't you? Don't be afraid. I want to help you. Take my hand. Take it, Tess.
The person on the telephone said 1935, Christmas Eve. But that's not the beginning. In 1927, Butler House was restored by Wilfred Butler. After that, I find social notes, parties, nothing special. Then, in 1930, Butler's wife, Catherine, dies of tuberculosis. In August 1933, it starts. Wilfred Butler's daughter is cruelly attacked and raped. Her name is Mary Ann, the same name as the caller who left those messages tonight. She's 15 then. On May 2nd, 1934, Mary Ann Butler gives birth to a son, Jeffrey Butler. Jeff. Early in 1935, Butler House is turned over to a Dr. Robinson as an asylum for mental patients. And then Butler goes on to say that he has committed his own daughter. Mary Ann will live at the asylum. There's no end to this story. It's been carefully cut out of all the papers. Why would Toman do that? You scared me. Oh, what happened?
What happened is, Tess has 40 bird cages. Toman is hysterical. Everybody's at my house but me. It's cold outside and you forgot to lock the door.
Joe, how old are you?
How old am I? You mean, how many years have I lived?
No. There's a lot in the paper about your family.
I don't want to talk about my family.
Wait a minute. There's a woman calling, and she says her name is Mary Ann. That was your mother's name, wasn't it?
My mother died in childbirth. That's when I started traveling.
It's not what the papers say.
What's your point?
I just thought that you should read something for your own good.
Nothing you could tell me about my past or future would be for my own good. Where is the paper?
It's on the table.
so stupid to lie. You missed the whole event.
Jeff, maybe your mother's still alive. Maybe she's waiting for you at the house.
I don't know. Come on. No more side trips. Let's go out there.
It's empty.
Jeff, look!
Oh my God!
Stay back!
It's Tolman!
Stay back!
He's dead. His hands. Somebody cut off his hands.
You killed him. You killed Tolman.
He's asking for help.
You killed him.
Get in the car.
Butler house.
The keys. He took them.
write this knowing that no one shall ever see it. Not my beloved daughter, or even my grandson, Jeffrey. I write for myself in the hope of forgiveness, if that is still possible. And I write for you, Marianne, whose youth and innocence I have destroyed. By 1935, the doctors had treated my daughter for a year. I had believed they could cure her. The child, Jeffrey, was taken from us and sent to California. I turned my house into an asylum. I brought doctors to live there. I welcomed other patients. Useless. All of it. I remembered what she had been. There was never a lovelier, happier child.
Ladies and gentlemen, now quiet, please. I propose a toast. Doctor, please.
By Christmas of the first year, I knew that I must act, not for myself, but for my helpless child.
Led him to create this institution. Our friend...
I had no plan. All I knew was that I must take her from these men with their promises, their lies.
Shall we? For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
I knew that they would gorge themselves into a stupor that afternoon. It was their celebration. I expected no less. Since they had come into my house, they had acted as if they owned it. They had behaved like poor relations, half guilty, but finally unable to control their appetites. After dinner, they danced and drank as they usually did. All the time, Robinson would smile and reassure me. They expected me to believe, because I had no choice. Wilfred, trust me. He really believed Marianne would be well. He saw a light. There is a light at the end of a long tunnel.
Believe me. There is a light at the end of a long tunnel.
Stay here, Doctor. I'll get more champagne. He was ready. I knew it. Drunk and fat and full of his own importance. I left then. My cruelty to Mary Ann was inhuman. I know that. I had loved her. I had fathered our child, Jeffrey. I had brought her to this. But I swear that on that afternoon, all I wanted was to save my child. My hope was to get her away from that house. But also, I wanted to set free those other wretches who had so long been abused by the doctors. I knew what they might do if these inmates were freed. And this is my guilt. I knew, and still I freed them. the house. I went to get our car to take Marianne away. I do not know exactly when she slipped away from me. I assume that when they saw her in the dining room, the inmates believed her to be part of that household which they hated. And so, they killed her. Later, there was a celebration. And then most of the inmates fled. I don't know where. But I shall never forget what they did to my child. Since that Christmas, I have lived in prisons and asylums. Lived anonymously, as an animal. I have wandered in bitterness until all seasons have become as one. And that is a season of vengeance.
Jeff. Jeff.
Wilfred Butler is still alive. This is still his house.
Your grandfather died in 1950. He was burned to death in this house.
My grandfather poured gasoline over a squatter he found here. The town wanted to believe he was dead. They still do. This house was an asylum. There was a massacre by the inmates. Tess, Toman, the sheriff. Your father.
No.
All inmates. They killed my mother in this room.
Who's that? Who's there?
Daddy? Daddy?
Diane?
Jeff? Jeff? No. No. Jeff, why? Why?
Marianne. Don't run away. Don't. I'm your father. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Please. It's all right. I won't hurt you. I need
Please. Please.
I spent that night weeping. By morning, there were no more tears. I know that my father and Jeffrey both thought they were shooting at killers, but they were simply the last victims in that house of victims. And now, a year later, they will tear down Wilfred Butler's monument. But they can never destroy my memories of what happened here.
And that brings us to the end of Silent Night, Bloody Night. So I guess the killer was really no one. No one we'd ever seen in the movie up to that point. Lovely. Anyway, here's a preview of next week's movie. Run and tell the neighbors. It's Barbara Steele's birthday. To celebrate, we'll be featuring the original queen of the Gothic screens, 1963 classic, The Ghost, on the Busan Midnight Movie. Don't hang about. You'd be dead wrong to miss this. And with that, our special Christmas feature and the holiday itself has come to an end, which means I can get out of this ridiculous outfit and start being myself again. Ah, much better. Ah!